Most people have never been told that one of the most efficient irrigation systems ever used doesn't rely on pressure, timers, or even moving parts. It's a porous clay vessel buried in the soil that slowly releases water exactly where roots need it, at a rate the soil itself controls. This isn't theory, it's been tested for thousands of years in dry regions where wasting water meant losing crops. And yet, modern gardening somehow replaced it with overhead sprinklers that evaporate half the water before it even reaches the soil. What makes this method work is not just the clay pot itself, but the physics behind it. When unglazed clay is fired at the right temperature, it becomes semi-porous. Water doesn't pour out, it seeps out gradually through microscopic pores. The drier the surrounding soil, the faster the water moves outward. When the soil is already moist, the flow slows down or stops. That means the plant roots regulate their own water supply without you doing anything. No timers, no guesswork. It's one of the few systems where overwatering is almost impossible if it's set up correctly. Before getting into the setup, there's something worth saying up front because most people miss it. This method only works as well as your soil allows it to. If the soil is compacted, lifeless, or full of fine clay particles, the water will really struggle to move outward, and roots just won't spread toward the pot effectively. That's why, improving the surrounding soil, even just a little bit, makes a massive difference. This is also where compost comes in. If there's no steady supply, using something like the Ouken 4-litre electric composter becomes practical because it produces consistent, nutrient-rich compost quickly, without the hassle of managing a large pile. That compost actually helps open up the soil structure, allowing for much better moisture movement from the pot. There's a link to the exact unit used in the description, and if it's purchased through that link, it supports bringing more of these tested methods forward. Also, for more detailed guides like this, and even woodworking projects that support garden systems, the email list is where deeper breakdowns are shared. The link is in the description. And the clay pot itself needs to be unglazed and fully sealed at the bottom. If using a standard terracotta pot, the drainage hole has to be plugged properly. Cement works, but even a tight-fitting cork sealed with waterproof adhesive does the job. What matters is that water can only escape through the walls, not leak out the base. Now, the size of your pot actually determines the radius it can effectively water. For example, a typical 5-litre pot will hydrate soil roughly 30 to 45 centimetres in all directions, though this does depend a bit on the type of soil you're using. In sandy soil, the radius expands even further, but, it drains much faster. In heavier soils, the spread is smaller, but the moisture tends to stick around a lot longer. Placement is honestly where most people get it wrong. They either bury the pot too shallow or, too deep. The correct approach is to bury it so that the neck is just above soil level. The body of the pot should sit right in the root zone, not below it. For most vegetables, that means the widest part of the pot sits about 15 to 25 centimetres below the surface. That way, roots grow toward the moisture source instead of staying shallow. Spacing between pots depends on crop density. For something like tomatoes or peppers, one pot can serve 2 to 3 plants if they're spaced around it in a circle. Leafy greens can be planted more densely, forming a ring around the pot. In a raised bed that's 1 metre wide, placing pots about 60 centimetres apart creates overlapping moisture zones, which eliminates dry spots entirely. Filling the pot is simple, but there's a detail that changes everything. It should be filled completely and then covered. Leaving it open leads to evaporation and contamination. A simple lid, even a flat stone or piece of wood, is enough. In hotter climates, covering the opening reduces water loss significantly. Once filled, the pot slowly releases moisture over several days. So a 5-litre pot can actually last anywhere from 3 to 7 days, depending on, the temperature and the specific crop demand. Here's where the 6 months claim actually makes sense. And, well, it really does need to be explained properly. It doesn't mean filling it once and just walking away. What it really means is that the system itself can run continuously for months with minimal effort, requiring only occasional refilling instead of, daily watering. Compared to surface irrigation, where water is lost to evaporation and runoff, this method uses up to 70% less water. Over a growing season, that's the difference between constant maintenance and near automation. One of the biggest advantages shows up during heat waves. When the topsoil dries out and looks dead, the area around the pot stays consistently moist. Roots go deeper, chasing that moisture, which makes plants more resilient. Instead of shallow, fragile root systems, you get stronger, deeper growth that can handle stress. This is especially noticeable with crops like tomatoes, which tend to crack or suffer when watering is inconsistent. This system creates a stable microbial zone around the pot. Because moisture levels don't fluctuate wildly, beneficial microbes thrive. That leads to better nutrient cycling right where roots are feeding. It's not just irrigation, it's a way to stabilize the entire root environment. Now, it's not perfect, and it's worth being honest about that. In very heavy clay soils, water movement can be too slow, making the system less effective unless the soil is amended first. In extremely sandy soils, the water disperses too quickly, which means more frequent refilling. And for very large gardens, installing dozens of pots can take time up front. But once they're in place, the maintenance drops dramatically. There's also the question of durability. A good quality terracotta pot can last several seasons if handled carefully. However, freezing temperatures can crack them if they're left full of water. In colder regions, they need to be emptied or removed before frost sets in. In warmer climates, they can stay in the ground year-round without issues. Another practical detail that improves performance is pairing the pots with mulch. A thick layer of organic mulch, about 5 to 10 centimeters, on the soil surface reduces evaporation even further. This works together with the buried pot to create a closed moisture system. Water goes in, stays in, and gets used by the plant instead of disappearing into the air. For gardeners who are used to drip irrigation, this might seem slower or less precise. But that's missing the point. Drip systems deliver water on a schedule. Clay pots respond to the soil's actual condition. That difference matters more than most realize. It's the difference between feeding a plant on a timer versus letting it drink when it actually needs to. In small gardens, raised beds, or even large containers, this method becomes even more effective. A single pot in a container can completely eliminate the need for daily watering. In raised beds, it creates zones of consistent moisture that are hard to achieve with surface watering alone. What tends to happen after switching to this system is a gradual shift in how the entire garden behaves. Soil stays more stable, plants become less stressed, and watering turns into a background task instead of a constant chore. It's one of those changes that doesn't look dramatic at first, but over a full season, the difference is obvious. And that's really the question behind all this. Why was this forgotten? The answer isn't that it stopped working. You see, the thing is, it doesn't sell equipment, it doesn't need electricity, and it doesn't require constant adjustment. It's simple, and honestly, simplicity often gets overlooked. For anyone who's really serious about growing food efficiently, this isn't just some experiment. It's a system that's absolutely worth integrating, testing, and refining based on your real conditions. Once it's properly dialed in, it becomes without a doubt one of the most reliable ways to manage water without wasting your time or resources. So, if this kind of practical, tested method is the direction you want to take your garden, do subscribe to Hydro Haven and share this with someone who's, frankly, tired of chasing watering schedules that just don't work. And if you're after deeper breakdowns, including tools, systems, and builds that make gardening easier and more efficient, join the email list through the link in the description.